What is going on, Brick fans? Today I've got a special thank you video because we just reached 100 subscribers here on the channel. Big thanks everyone who's subscribed, I really appreciate it. So, as promised in my last video, once we hit 100, I'll show you guys the full collection of the Pokemon Mega Construx line. So, there's a lot. There's a lot of Pokemon in this line, and even though we definitely want more of the unique species of Pokemon to come out from Mega Construx, it's always good to take a moment and step back and realize how much we've gotten from this line already. So with that said, when I was deciding how I wanted to put this video together, initially I was going to put all the Pokemon in this one display right here. And that was not working. There's too many Pokemon, so I decided I'd break it up somehow, and the way I decided to do that was to actually break it out by the year the Pokemon species was released. Now keep in mind that is the species release date and not the actual Pokemon model release date, so I am going to be using the updated models for all the Pokemon that have updates. If you want to see the originals, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll do another video. But here we go, starting in the back with the center of this piece. Of course, Gyarados, classic Mega Construx Pokemon piece. For me, this was the Pokemon that started it all. As soon as I saw this Pokemon, I knew, man, I want to start collecting this line. And so that's where it all started for me, seeing Gyarados. Now his model is just a bit outdated, I think, and it would be really nice to see an updated version of this character. Then of course there comes Blastoise, and at some point they are coming out with a new Blastoise set. However, I've taken a look at the images available that I could find, and it looks like not much has changed, unfortunately. Definitely the cannons for his shell are changed, but as far as the main build, it looks pretty much the same. I can't tell any major differences. One of the big problems with this Blastoise is his head really is not able to move, so I actually had to modify the head so that I could turn it. However, being able to do that also makes it so that the head is actually really weak, so turning it is kind of hard if you don't want it to fall apart. So hopefully this new Blastoise will have a head that can move a little better than the original. Of course, moving on, we got Charizard, and I'm not going to name each and every one of these individually because honestly, I'm not a Pokemon expert, so some of their names do not come to me right away. But once again, this is the new build for Charizard. However, his species did first release in 2017, so once again, that's why he's here. Now we got over here in the corner, we got Zubat and Geodude. I absolutely love the Zubat, the new Zubat. Geodude could definitely use a rework. We're scrolling down over here. We got some more characters. One very important character to mention is Diglett right here. He is remaining the only exclusive Pokemon to the Volcano set that was a Toys R Us exclusive. Of course, there was only two other unique Pokemon in that set, which were Krabby and Growlithe, but we do have new versions for both of those, and that's what you see here. Moving along, of course, we have a newer version of Pikachu here on display, same thing as a newer version of Eevee. And of course, if I was showing all of the different builds for these Pokemon, there'd be like 20 Pikachus, because Pikachu comes in almost every single multi-pack there is. So I've got many Pikachus that I did not buy separately. They came in various multi-packs, unfortunately. I understand why Pikachu is so prevalent in the line, but it would be nice to get some more different Pokemon for a change. And then moving on to this last segment, we've got some really nice build changes in Oddish here, really good change from the original, but also with Magikarp and Meowth, and Machop. Really nice build changes. I'd love to see a build change for Rattata, and we did just get a new build for Sneasel, but I don't have it. I didn't think that it was enough of a change, mainly because it did not give us new claws. It's the same kind of hand that we have there, and Sneasel has long claws. It would be nice to have a build with some nice claws instead of like hands that can hold things. Sneasel doesn't need to hold things, they need to slash. So that's it for 2017. Let's move on to the next year. Alright guys, and before we move on to the next year, I'd like to shout out real quick Andores Vega, who requested that I actually do this video. If you guys have video requests, please leave them in the comments and I'll definitely try to make them happen if I'm able. So, moving to 2018, when I look at this collection that we have here, this was a good year for Pokemon Mega Construx. And then I think back, and I'll get to it later, but it was also kind of a bad year too. We'll get to that, don't worry. But first, we have the sort of centerpiece of this year, which is the Onix. Of course, this was a GameStop exclusive, and man, GameStop had a lot of exclusives comparatively. But at this point, the only two Pokemon that are still exclusive to this set are Onix himself and Porygon. Of course, it also came with Meowth, Ekans, Staryu, and Pikachu. Of course, those we can get by other means, but Onix and Porygon are still exclusive to this set. And this Onix build is really nice. I like how big it is. The only problem with him is that he's essentially stuck to his base. There's really no way to get around that unless you want him rolling around like a snake. But moving on, we've got Venusaur, who is probably my favorite build of all the Pokemon that we have so far. This guy is great, he is beefy, he is huge, and overall he is a good representation of the Pokemon. I absolutely love this character. He's on display all the time. Of course, then we have Dragonite, who I'm not so crazy about his build. I think he could definitely use a rework, especially since the character is so cool and really just nostalgic for me. I'd love to see this guy get just a little more justice for his character. Now, similar to Dragonite, I think Mewtwo could use an update. I love the way that Mega Construx did his legs and his tail. I think it looks really nice, but a glaring problem for me is in the face. Mew as well, you can see right there, and Mew I think could use an update. At the very least, we could get some rounded out feet. That would be really nice. But moving along, we have this Porygon here. Of course, that is the exclusive from that Onix set. And then we're moving into some really awesome expansion of the world that Mega Construx did in 2018, where we have the Alolan starters and their second evolutions coming out in the same year, as well as the Generation 2 starters, which was really cool. I'd also like to point out Shelder, who I think is really cool, and I'd love to see the evolution for that character. Moving right along, we have Gengar here in the corner, and this is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version of Gengar. Yes, I did get this guy off of eBay the year he came out. Don't remember how much I paid for him, but I think it was like double the original price. Fortunately, Mega Construx did release another version of Gengar in 2019. I don't have that version, and I think based off the pictures, the only difference is I don't think the 2019 version has the light up eyes like the Comic-Con version does, but that's not like a big deal. But we also have right behind him Lapras, and once again this was another GameStop exclusive. But then down here we have Beedrill and a couple of the other Pokemon like Pidgey, who I think could really use a rework. This guy was kind of clunky at the get-go, especially if you look at some of the other Pokemon that were coming out at that time. Pidgey could use a little more love. I've quarantined off a special group of Pokemon. These guys right here. This is Series 5 and Series 7. I gotta say, I was not ready to walk down this memory. If you think collecting Pokemon Mega Constructs today is hard with the characters that are coming out, man, Series 5, you have no idea unless you do. If you know, you know. But Series 5 was impossible to find. These guys were super hard to collect. The Staryu that is here is actually the one that I got from the Onyx set, because I'm not a fan of having duplicates for no reason whatsoever. But Series 5 did have Staryu and a Pikachu, so fortunately for me, I didn't need to get either one of those, but the other ones were super hard to find. Carvana, Bounsweet, Charjabug, and Stuffle. And I gotta say, the worst of them all was Stuffle. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Stuffle was the one that only came with one per box. It was either him or Carvana, one or the other, but both of those were these kind of super rare ones for the boxes. And this Stuffle, man, I keep this guy on display at all times because of how hard he was for me to get. This dude was hard to find. Similarly, Series 7 was insane. This series was super hard to find. Of course, the characters here were Wurmple, Togedemaru, Salandit, Pikipek, Pichu, and last but not least, Larvitar. And Larvitar was the one that only had one per box. And this guy's actually imported from Mexico. I was actually on a trip visiting my wife's family in Mexico when we stopped by a Walmart, and I thought, oh, you know what, I might as well take my chances. And this Walmart is located in the middle of nowhere. And what's the one Pokemon that's there? It's Larvitar. So man, you have no idea how excited I was to find this Larvitar. Since then, I did not see another one of these in any other store that I went to. So if it weren't for that trip to Mexico, I might not have a Larvitar. Now that wraps up year 2018 for Pokemon Mega Constructs. This just might be the best year that we've had so far. Simply look at all of the variety of builds that we got from that year as evidence to that. We got a great Lapras, an awesome Gengar, of course Onix is amazing, and Venusaur is probably the best. So for those of us who are semi-good at math, let's go ahead and move on to 2019. Okay guys, and of course we've moved on to 2019. Another pretty strong wave, I would say. So first we've actually got the Detective Pikachu movie tie-ins, and those are Lickitung, Lowred, Mr. Mime, and Ludicolo back there right in the center. Of course, we also have to the left of him Greninja, who is paired up with Electabuzz, who is on the right side. And moving on right, of course, we have that Scyther over there, which is really awesome. We had quite a few mid-level builds in this year, which is really cool. Would have been nice to have some of those bigger builds as well. But of course, we also had Weevil, who was included in the Tropical Frost Showdown, and he was actually paired with two other characters that are still exclusive to that set, which are Wingull and Sandygeist. Of course, Wingull you can see right here, and Sandygeist is just right over there. So you can also see the evolutions that had come out that year. They're scattered throughout this display here. And we had another 2 generations worth of starter Pokemon that came out. You can see those over here and just over here as well. And then finally, the last of the evolutions are over here on the left side. And one of my favorites from this year is actually Kabuto right here. And I would love to see his evolution come out sometime soon. Another few mentions would be Lucario right in the center here. And right next to him is Raichu. So this year we finally were able to complete the Pikachu evolution line, which was really satisfying. And guys, that wraps up 2019. Definitely a solid year with some really nice builds. So let's go right on to 2020. Alright guys, so first and foremost for 2020, we actually have one that I missed from 2019, which is Froakie right here. Somehow he slipped through the cracks and did not make it into that segment. So here he is from 2019. We'll go ahead and take him away. Now back to 2020. We've got, of course, first and foremost, Tyranitar, which was an excellent big build to have. Some of the standouts were definitely Ponyta as well as Kadabra, who I really like. And I actually like him a lot more now than I did originally when I first got him, so he's really grown on me. Horsia was also really nice to have. And then this is the year where we actually finished up the starter Pokemon for 3 generations. Now if I were showing you guys all of the Pokemon that came out this year, we technically would have a few more, so it wouldn't be as slim as it looks right now, but those are duplicates that I've already shown. So as of, for instance, the new Charizard did come out in 2020, but since I already showed him, this year is looking a bit slimmer than it ought to. But to share one of my favorites with you guys, actually right here, Nidoran. This guy I think looks great, and Mega Construx did a great job depicting the character. So guys, that's going to be it for 2020. And we're gonna hit right into the current year. Alright guys, this is it. This is 2021, the Pokemon that we've got this year. Now, to be fair, I don't have Sneasel that came out this year. But it's also not the end of the year quite yet. I know there's a few sets coming out at the end of the year, and I still have yet to find the Galarian Ponyta, as well as Galarian Meowth and Toxel. So that would be 3 additional Pokemon. Now we also did get the 25th anniversary Pokeball series in this year, which included Togepi, Squirtle, Pikachu, Magikarp, Charmander, and Bulbasaur. But once again, those are re-releases, so I'm not including them here, but that would give a little more bulk to this year's contribution. And we also got the Pokeball this year, as well as the 4-inch Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and the Pikachu Evolution Trio, which are all scaled up from the rest of the line, and so I'm not really interested in collecting those. But if we were looking at those would also beef up this year's contribution to the line as well. But as far as the new Pokemon that we've got so far, it's really good. These guys are some really great depictions of the characters. Of course, Corviknight is just amazing, and he really gives me hope for the future of this line, as well as the kind of mid-tier Sirfetch'd. I think he looks amazing, and he's a great representation of the character. And then we have some great unique pieces like Goldine's fins and Wooloo's wool piece, as well as Litwick's melted wax. I don't want to be negative, but when we're looking back at everything that's come out in previous years, there has definitely been a decline in the quantity, not the quality. Not the quality. We're still getting really good quality characters, but definitely the quantity has been reduced, and it's kind of weird to say. Like, I don't want to say it, but I'm hoping that with all of the troubles going on in the world in the last year and a half, that is why we're getting less Pokemon. Hopefully it starts to pick up once things start to get back to normal. But guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Once again, 100 subscribers. I am genuinely overwhelmed by the support you guys have given. Of course, if you're new here and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. If you liked this video, hit that like button. And guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Once again, if you've got a request or a suggestion for a video, please let me know. I'm doing this for you guys and for the love of the Mega Construx Pokemon line. This line is what this channel is dedicated to. I've got Lego stuff going on as well, but I will always be making content for Pokemon Mega Construx so long as we're still getting them. And even if the line ends, look, I'll still make videos for these guys if you guys will keep watching them. So with that said, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.